Well, good early morning, Carly. Glad you made it in. Those indirect talks brokered by Oman's foreign minister set to resume any minute now in Geneva. It's not clear if the U.S. will actually engage Iran face-to-face. The notes are passed by intermediaries. Now, many see this as a last-ditch effort to prevent a war between the United States and Iran. And Vice President J.D. Vance shared a recent assessment about their nuclear program yesterday.
The principle is very simple. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. If they try to rebuild their nuclear weapon, that causes problems for us. And in fact, we've seen evidence that they have tried to do exactly that. So the president sending those negotiators to try to address that problem, as the president has said repeatedly, he wants to address that problem diplomatically, but of course the president has other options as well.
Axios reporting White House envoy Steve Witkoff told a private gathering on Tuesday that the Trump administration is demanding that Iran agree any future nuclear deal will remain in effect indefinitely. President Trump and other critics of the 2015 Iran nuclear deal negotiated by the Obama administration seized on those sunset provisions as one of its main flaws. Now, new satellite photos indicate Iran trying to access the 3 nuclear sites bombed by American B-2 bombers and that guided missile submarine in June as part of Operation Midnight Hammer. Iran's foreign minister says his country is not ready to give up what he calls peaceful nuclear technology. And the Pentagon continues to bolster forces in the region. A squadron of 5th-generation F-22 Raptors arrived at an Israeli air base for the first time yesterday. More Raptors landed in Britain yesterday from the 1st Fighter Wing based in Langley, Virginia. And evacuations are also underway. Officials say the headquarters of the U.S. Navy's 5th Fleet in Bahrain has now been reduced to mission-critical levels. Less than 100 people remain. We saw something similar before Operation Midnight Hammer, an indication strikes could be coming very soon. Carly, Todd.
All right, Lucas Tomlinson live for us in Washington. Lucas, thank you. Let's bring in national security and military analyst Rebecca Grant. Dr. Grant, thank you so much for joining us. So these talks are taking place right now, and I think it's safe to say that optimism is low, that they will lead to any real and lasting change. At the same time, Steve Witkoff is conducting them, and he has a proven track record. So what are the chances that these negotiations lead to something significant?
Well, first of all, the deployment of F-22s into Israel tells me this is very serious and perhaps very imminent. That said, Ambassador Witkoff is probably the one person who could get this done. So I'm going to give him still a chance to get Iran to agree. I mean, Carly, it's a no-brainer. Iran needs to give up that 972 pounds of enriched uranium and curtail their missile programs. That's the bottom line that President Trump has to hold out for.
Yeah, and the president and the administration has made it clear that it's not just, there's no end deadline to this. This has to be lasting change. But if these talks do fail, Dr. Grant, the U.S. and Israel could be looking to unseat this regime by force. That's not off the table. And you have a great op-ed for FoxNews.com that you wrote. It's titled Ayatollah's Arsenal versus American Firepower, Iran's Top 4 Threats and How We Fight Back. So how could Iran threaten us militarily if we do get to that phase? And what do we do to combat it?
Well, Iran's #1 threat is their ballistic missile arsenal, and their foreign minister was boasting about it just a few months ago, that it's more powerful than ever. So you can see why that needs to be curtailed. That's why we have 7 U.S. Navy destroyers, Patriot systems, and other forces deployed for force protection. And it's an arc that goes from the ships in the Eastern Med across the land bases where U.S. forces are and all the way over to the North Arabian Gulf. The U.S. Navy has been terrific in shooting down Iran's ballistic missiles using SM-3 and other weapons. This is a good force protection arc. Don't forget, F-35s off the carrier Lincoln bagged an Iranian drone, and there are many, many other land-based air assets in place. They're there to strike if needed, but their #1 job, of course, as always, is force protection for our U.S. forces.
Yeah, and of course, Iran also has those proxies. And the U.S. State Department just ordered non-emergency personnel to evacuate the embassy in Beirut, Lebanon. So now we're talking about Hezbollah. Does that mean that Hezbollah could still be activated and considered a real threat, despite the fact that they were deeply diminished by Israel?
Yes, Hezbollah has been deeply, deeply diminished, as you say. To me, the evacuation order is proactive. It means that, hey, if this gets big, we're not going to have time to come do an embassy evacuation. So let's get that down to minimal manning now. We see that at some other bases as well, and that's to reduce the footprint and increase force protection again. And don't forget, at our military bases, big Patriot missile and other force protection in place.
And, you know, if we're talking about regime change, the question becomes, if that does happen, who replaces the current regime? I know that some people have chanted the former Crown Prince, Reza Pahlavi's name in the streets, but he hasn't lived in Iran for decades. So what do you think about that? The power vacuum that this could cause.
Right. And the polls say about 30% of Iranians like Pahlavi. Others want something else. The trouble, of course, is getting the IRGC and the Basij and the other elements of the Ayatollah's regime out of power. And it's very tough. And, you know, I know this is why President Trump's #1 objective is still to make a deal. And hey, don't forget, Iran doesn't need to enrich anything. They can buy nuclear power plant fuel on the open market from Canada and Kazakhstan like all the rest of the world does. So that regime is risking everything and risking the Iranian people. But hey, you can't trust them after what they've done, killing 32,000 of their own. I think that regime is in a very, very fragile position.
Well, these talks are going on right now, and all we can hope for is big news to come out of them. Dr. Grant, thank you so much for joining us.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.